Alright, welcome back to the channel, Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the new Warcry expansion. So we saw one of the models previously previewed, and obviously knew that it was going to be some lizardmen, but let's take a closer look at what we have here. Pull back the vines and catch a glimpse of the Gnarlwood's elusive chameleon skins. Warbands from across the mortal realms have descended on Ghur, making for the twisted forest known as the Gnarlwood. The fanged flora of this deadly land were born from the realm-shaping energies of a crashed Seraphon temple ship, and its powerful relics and sacred treasures still litter the jungle floor. The ravening ruin is not unguarded, however. Cold-blooded defenders flit through the carnivorous trees and strangling vines to ensure the shattered hulk of their ancient vessel remains safe from greedy scavengers. Look hard enough, and you might even catch a glimpse. So let's take a look at their little video here. Alright, so right off the bat, we get a glimpse of some potentially new terrain here. I'm kind of looking at the background, focused a little less on the foreground. So yeah, nice quick little video there, but we do get a glimpse of what's going on here. So let's take a look. So obviously these first couple pieces of terrain, you know, these look like real trees or little piece of like fish tank, aquarium stuff. This right here looks like a little bit of like, kind of like a little flock cluster. But now here's some of this other interesting stuff right here. So let's go just a little bit further on. Alright, so right here, this is a piece of the Heart of Ghur terrain. And then this, what looks like a little roof, is just a little platform of that tree set. Now here in the background, we see like a big pyramid with some cool looking stuff going on there. Can't quite make out what that is. But here, up closer, again, we see one, it looks like one of the large skull pieces, and then a little stuff, and then there's like a skin being like stretched out here. Again, can't quite tell if this is GW stuff or if this is just extra stuff right here. Let's keep looking. So they slow it down here, we can kind of see the background, but again, can't quite make out what's going on here. And don't get me wrong, the models are cool, but I'm very curious about the terrain, so. Alright, so let's take a look at what's going on here. Alright, so here we see very similar looking terrain to the set that we already have. Now we don't see any of the bones at the bottom. It's possible there's something going on down here. But this looks different than the stuff that's in the set. Little platform and everything. Very interesting. So let's keep going here. There's our little lizard bro coming in. And then here we see there's nothing like this in the current set. These look more like sort of like huts or like little shacks than they do just like the little platforms and trees and everything. And again here in the background we see this looks like it has a multi-level platform. We do see something like that in the set, but this doesn't jump out at me as being something from the Heart of Ghur set. And then here we see this one kind of coming into focus right here. Again, another tree. Looks like it is coming out of a skull, essentially. And then we see a platform with a sort of like wall attached to it. So we can definitely get a kind of preview of what's to come. Looks like more of the same, but expanded. So very, very cool. Definitely looking forward to that, as I really do like this Heart of Ghur terrain. I like that they decided to go like an organic route, as they really don't have like a ton of trees and stuff like that available. The stuff they do have available is really cool, but the idea of like the bones and the kind of like fleshy trees really has grown on me, so definitely a fan. A mighty void ship like the Eye of Kotek, the name by which the Seraphon know Talaxis, would usually be protected by powerful Saurus warriors, yet few of the wrecked vessel gestation chambers remain intact, and many are riddled with malfunctions, creating feral spawn who spill into the jungle beyond. It now falls to the nimble chameleon Skinks to harry invading warbands with stealth and guile. So very interesting. I wonder if that means the whole entire warband is going to be Skinks, or if there's going to be a combination of various lizardmen. Hopefully. So let's talk about this first model here. So this one's pretty cool. So we see there is like a little tree piece on here. He's obviously like leaned forward pretty aggressively. Blowpipe in hand. A little blow dart. And then we see a little lizard on the base. And then would presume all this is just added on basing effects. Pretty cool overall. Spawn from the roiling pool, surrounded by ornate plaques representing Wanchi, the unseen hunter. The shadow-touched skinks of Talaxis are devoted sentinels who ensure the sacred ground of their fallen home remains unsullied. Concealed by natural camouflage, these stranded hunters pincushion their foes with hallucinogenic poison darts from the cover of tree and vine. Poor souls under the influence of these drug darts often end up giddy, capering into the rending limbs of the gnarl oaks, or taking fatal plunges into the greedy swamps that can gulp down a Formroid crusher without a trace. Alright, so here we see a second model here. This one's standing a little bit more on like some kind of ruined stuff. Again, we see a skull with some weird like worm stuff coming out of his eyeballs. Again, we see another of the skinks. I really do like these models. They look cool. And then a little blow dart as well. So that's it. We're just going to see the two models and then a little glimpse of the terrain. So these swiveled eyes trappers don't work solo, preferring to hunt in silent stalk packs that move in perfect cohesion. You'll be able to see more of them shortly, as well as the tough competition they're up against in the next Warcry box. Interesting. These swivel-eyed trappers don't work solo. So obviously it's not a 2-skink warband, but we don't know if it's just going to be more skinks or if there's going to be various lizardmen in it. I hope it's a blend. Preferring to hunt in silent stalk packs that move in perfect cohesion. You'll be able to see more of them shortly, as well as the tough competition they're up against. So no clues as to what the competition is or when this next box is coming. But we do know that it's going to be a lizardman on one side. And from our little video preview here, we've seen essentially what some of this terrain looks like as well. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, so I just wanted to take a closer look at the Heart of Ghur terrain and kind of compare it to what we have here. So very interesting. Obviously, we can see that it looks similar to what is in this set, but we don't see any of the identical pieces. So none of the pieces in this set appear to be like a vertical wall, and we definitely saw that a couple times in this little preview. So it does in fact look like we're going to get some similar looking terrain, but unique nonetheless, and possibly see a little bit more expansion, a little bit more elevation, and the potential for, you know, more than just like the ground floor and then maybe one elevated platform type thing. Maybe we could put a couple sets of this together and start to kind of get like that sort of Ewok village kind of multi-level thing going on. So pretty cool overall. Definitely a fan. I think if any game is going to do well on like this sort of type of terrain right here, I think this is good for Warcry. I think my main complaint about this set is that there was just not quite enough interaction. You can put like some objectives up, like the horn that's on like this skull piece right here, and some various reasons to climb up on this stuff. But most people are just going to kind of play around it unless they have to. So I think having like a multi-level board or something super cool would be like if the floor was like lava and you had to stay up on the multi-level boards, you could really get into some like super cool and thematic games of Warcry. I'm a big fan of the Warcry terrain. Some of the best terrain for like fantasy setting that GW makes. Also really, really appropriate for something like a D&D campaign going into, you know, some weird eerie swamp or something like that. I think the Gnarlwood is a perfect setting for that, as well as some of the previous additions or expansions for Warcry as well. So, but going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Let me know what you think down below. Am I stretching to kind of think that we're getting to see some of the terrain, or did it seem like it was kind of teased in there? Do you guys have any guesses or anything like that for what the new warband will be? Is it going to be all skinks? Are we going to see some Saurus in there as well? Maybe a Kroxigor? That's what I'm hoping for. I hope it's a combination of them. Some kind of mage in there, caster, something like that. A couple of skinks, Saurus warriors, some like temple guard or something like that. Maybe Kroxigor. That would be really, really cool to see. Maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic, but we shall see. And then as far as the other warband that's going to be in there, I'm not really sure. It seemed like the direction Games Workshop wants to go, and I think this is the right direction, is away from like the chaos themed type warbands, because that's kind of like all the whole first season was. So if we see now our first non-chaotic kind of warband in the Skinks, it seems likely that we're also going to get another non-chaotic type warband, maybe a few more in the next couple expansions. But I'm really not sure what this one's going to be. I mean, I guess the easy, like the go-to guess would be probably Stormcast, just because that's their easiest faction. But I'm not sure that's the route they're going to go with it. So very curious, definitely looking forward to it. Looking forward to some more terrain to accompany this. And who knows? I mean, mine will probably still be on the sprue by the time this makes it out. So I'll be able to do like a big batch paint of all of it at once, maybe. So, but that's it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for daily reactions, reviews, and news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, some Horus Heresy content as well. I am Warhammer Man, and this is Warhammer Man Studios, and I'm out of here.